Welcome to another episode of Mental Health Podcast with myself, Matthew Riggs, Hayley Overall, and Ed Archer. Today we've got the one and only Billy Scott. Hi Bill, how are we doing?
Yeah, not too bad.
Good. So I just want to talk a little bit about your mental health, and obviously I know that you've struggled with your mental health and all that type of thing in the past, being like younger. So can you just give us a little bit of a background on yourself and sort of like bring us up to like where you are today, sort of thing?
So in terms of my mental health, I struggled quite a lot. I'd say in like my young teen years. I think it's quite a difficult time for any lad, any female, growing up, trying to work out where you fit in, like socially and things like that. I had a very good upbringing, although my mum and dad did divorce when I was younger, which a lot of people, a lot of professionals that I've spoken to, like therapists and that, thought might have impacted
the way I felt.
Yeah,
so obviously divorcing and that type of thing can play a big part in your...
Yeah, I mean, I think indirectly it could have, but I don't feel like it defined the reason why I felt the way I felt. I always believed that I felt a certain way just because of who I am as a person. I didn't really try and pinpoint why I felt the way I felt, which was the wrong way to cope with it, really. So I sort of struggled with my mental health when I was sort of about 12, 13, used to like self-harm, things like that, just purely... at the time, I felt that the physical pain sort of cancelled out the pain in my mind.
How long was that for?
I probably self-harmed for quite a good few years.
What's a few years? Like
3, 4? Probably about 3 or 4 years. Not like consistently every day, not like every month. So I was quite clever. I think most people are. Like I did it in places that you wouldn't have seen. My mum did sort of see scars on my arm once and said to me, like, look, I think her natural reaction was of anger, and sort of she was really surprised. It's quite easy to put on a front in front of people. She was really surprised. She said to me, look, if you just ever do it again, then like I'll tell the police.
Oh, so she was angry.
Yeah. I think parents do that. Like my eldest daughter did, like self-harm for a little while. I think most parents do it. That's their instant reaction. It's the protection.
Yeah.
They're more angry at themselves than they are at you for doing it.
I never felt that anger was directed at me. I think it was more of like, it was almost like a natural reaction of how do I get him to stop?
Yeah.
By threatening him with something. I don't know what the police could have done. Maybe she thought that they would section me or whatever. But after that, we sort of did have discussions about how I felt. She's always been my rock.
Did she struggle to understand why?
No, so she's struggled with mental health when she was like throughout her life, so she sort of understood it. I think she was more, like Ed said, was like really like saddened about it. Like my child is harming themselves. You know, like you don't, obviously mental health, as we know, you don't see. Physical scars you do see. So to see like cut marks on someone that you love,
especially as a parent,
it must protect you. Yeah, you know, you're a parent, so if it was you probably know how you would react.
That's the thing you do. You just go, oh my God, like you hate yourself more than you don't hate your kids. You're not angry at them. No. And the thing is, I think for me, with a mental health campaign and stuff like this, I always had in my head, well, I know exactly what to do.
Yeah.
Because
or the signs to look.
I know exactly the signs. And it came out the blue. And then actually, I couldn't cope with it. And it's really because I think it's your own kid. You do get...
Yeah, cool.
But what it boils down to is anger toward its internal.
Yeah, and you don't know how... I do... Now I'm older, I look at things from her perspective, and she probably thought, like, well, what do I do? I never saw this coming. How do I protect him? Because obviously self-harm can be quite dangerous for you if you obviously...
Some
people can do it, and there can be, like, really bad, drastic consequences of doing that. I look back now, obviously I haven't self-harmed for, like, 15 years.
So what age was you when you self-harmed?
So I probably self-harmed from the age of like 15 up to 13 up to the age of about 17, but it wasn't consistent.
Yeah.
It was like triggered. So if I felt really, really low in myself, that's when I would do it. And it was more because it wasn't, I'd probably say I can count the amount of times I did it. So it wasn't like regular. I know some people who self-harm like every day, you know, to the point where it is really severe. I'm not saying what I did wasn't severe, but it did get progressively worse in terms of like how I did it, where I did it, how deep I did it, stuff like that. But it was at the time. Now I look back, the reason I did it was because like when you're focusing on physical pain, it sort of gets rid of that emotional pain, but it's only temporary. It
doesn't
last.
Pain,
you know what I mean? It doesn't last, and then you've got to deal with that. You know, like obviously mental health we carry every day, but when you've got something physical, like your trousers pressed, like on your legs, for example, you can feel that's the pain. That's where I used to do it on the tops of my legs because no one could see it. But I did get caught again when I was sort of about 16 because it was quite a lot of blood, and it was on my clothes. And that's when, my mum sat down with me and said, like, look, we need to get you help. Blah, blah, blah. But I was always very dismissive of that help. I would never accepted it. I was like, no, I'm fine. I'll deal with it on my own. You're a
16-year-old boy. Yeah. Most 16-year-old boys think they can take on the world.
I put her through an awful lot, and now I look at it like I'm reaching my 30s. Reaching my 30th birthday this year, I think of it, and my bond with my mum's always been close, but it's closer than ever, and I put her through horrendous times. And I look back now, and I don't even feel like that's who it's like I'm looking at someone completely different. I'm like, I can't even believe I was that person, you know? And then, so I've always sort of struggled with my mental health from the age of like 12, 13, and yet again, my parents divorced when I was 6, so whether or not it was delayed reaction, but like I say, when I've spoken to therapists, they've always pinpointed that, but I always thought it wasn't that. So I don't know if therapy for me was beneficial, or I just found the right therapist, or if I was even open to it. I think you need to go into
therapy then after.
I was about 16 when I went to therapy.
Was that when you had your breaking point? Like you had a loan?
No. I went to therapy without anyone knowing on my own when I was 16. I found it was quite easy to manipulate the therapist into believing what I wanted to think.
Would you say, rather than
so it was private, so I just looked someone up. I was working, I looked someone up, and I was paying like quite a bit of money to go and see this individual. She was lovely, like older woman, really professional, really experienced.
But if you don't want to be there 100% and you're just doing it to kind of
you're right,
show
you
people.
Can say the right things.
But like if you're the sort of person that can think, I've always been very self-aware. I've always been very aware of other people, so I know what I want to hear. That's probably how I hid it so well from everybody. I mean, I even speak to people now in the gym, and they can't believe that I've been through what I've been through. Because it's quite easy to put on that front and tell people I'm fine. You know, like I'm absolutely fine when you're actually not. So for me, having therapy was kind of counterproductive because I was paying for it just to tell her what I thought there was going to be a groundbreaking moment when you should pick something up, tell me how to deal with it, and I'd be like cured. Like,
they can only have the groundbreaking moment if you're being honest.
Yeah.
Did you do therapy because you wanted the help, or did you do it to be able to say, if someone pulled you up, say you need to go and get help, you go, well, I'm already doing it?
Yeah, I think it was more the fact that if anyone said to me,
you had a bit of a
I'm going to therapy, and I think it was so people would get off my back because they'd be like, you doing something about it. But at the same time, I don't feel like, I was maybe open to therapy as much as I should be. I know some people find therapy really helpful. I've had like 3 different therapists throughout my life. The last one being when I was, I think, around about age 20. And once again, I always found that they'd always...
It's a scoping therapist. You can go and have like your average counselling session, or just like CBT.
So I had counselling, CBT. I think the one massive benefit I got from therapy was sort of like learning what triggers certain aspects of my mental health and what coping mechanisms to put in place, which is CBT. So I did find that helpful. I don't never say I don't think it cured me. I don't think, like I say, mental health is something that you cure. That you just learn to live with it.
I think
strategies.
I think a lot of therapy is, like you say, it's strategies. It's how to cope with it, how to manage it on off days, as well as when you're good, when you're bad. How do you kind of?
I think even the happiest and most positive people on this world will always have a point in their life where they're not as happy. They might not be sad, but mental health is just with you for all your life.
Well, it's same physical.
Yeah.
Like we all have mental health.
Yeah.
It's just.
I think it's always perceived to be bad though. Like if you say to someone like mental health, the first thing they think about is negative thoughts.
Self-harm.
That's what I mean. Like my mental health it's good, you know, and it's something that you got to look after. Like for me, my physical well-being is really important. And obviously you can visualize that. You can see it. You can see if you're getting more muscular. You can see if you're losing body fat. But with your mental health, you don't see it. You don't know what other people's mental health strengths are like.
You can see it in your daily actions, your behaviours, but you can't physically know.
So I think mental health is something that is like everyone has it. Like you say, it's
that's the thing,
good or bad. Some people,
that's the stigma.
Some people's swings like are more drastic.
It's to be able to tell people, like, when you say the word, like the words mental health, it's not like this
a bad thing.
It's dirty words that it's got to be scared of. Like,
I think it's because when it comes out of people's mouths, it automatically is.
It's bad.
I struggle with mental health.
Not. I'm actually doing really well with my mental health.
Yeah,
I don't think people know how to talk about it because they don't know how deep you're going to go in terms of like you're going to start talking about really bad.
I think that's the main thing with any sort of. We're good at asking if people are okay,
but the substance behind it as well.
But
scary topics.
Yeah, if we go, "Are you okay?" We're okay with doing that bit. But I don't
think response back.
We're not okay with what's coming back because we're hoping someone goes, I'm good.
But also, we're not equipped to help people when they've got real issues. We're just not, are we?
But I think a lot of the time with mental health, like bad mental health, you don't need to be able to help someone. It's literally just being able to be those set of ears to just go, I'm here.
I don't know, but I think we're similar in that we would struggle with that. Like to vent. There's no answer.
See, I had so many people. I had so many people to talk to. I had my mum to talk to. I had my stepdad to talk to. I had a lot of people to talk to, you know. And those people probably were so frustrated, and I know my mum was so frustrated that she couldn't like help as much as she wanted to. I think it is quite a personal journey. It doesn't mean to say that you've got to struggle on your own.
No,
that's definitely not what I'm saying. But you sort of do need to work out what works for you.
You need to find the help, but you need to help yourself.
Yeah, definitely. I think if you're not open to it, like the first two counsellors I had, there was probably no point me even seeing.
Yeah.
And even the third one, the third one
was when you were 20.
So if I like carry on with sort of like my mental health journey, so when I got into quite a toxic relationship when I was about 19. And it was really toxic, like drink driving, drug driving, doing things that are really out of my character. And we split up, and it was just like terrible. Like I thought my world was over. It really sent me spiraling downhill. I used to sleep an awful lot because when I was sleeping, I wasn't thinking, and vice versa. And I had this plan that if it ever got too much, I just wanted to sleep forever. I just wanted to turn off and sleep so that I didn't think about things. It wasn't I wanted to harm myself or anything like that. So I actually stockpiled the antidepressants I was on, sleeping tablets a lot, knowing that there was an out, which was like the wrong, wrong thing to do because your emotions are, if you're triggered and you've got a heightened emotion, you can take those or make that decision and on impulse, and it can be irreversible. Like it wasn't a cry for attention for me. It was more of a fact that like when I was asleep, wasn't thinking. My mind was switched off, so that's where, if it ever got too much, where I want to be. And I ended up doing that when I was about 20. And after a really bad argument with my ex, she was actually in the house at the time, and she called the ambulance. And obviously, I'm still here today, luckily. It wasn't really an awakening for me. And people say, "Do you regret it?" And I think it's quite a hard one because it was a decision I made at the time. And
I think you shouldn't really regret anything you do because it just shapes you into the person.
I'm glad it didn't work. I'm glad it didn't work. But obviously, I wouldn't know that if it had worked. But I'm glad it didn't work.
So they do turn up on stomach.
So I don't remember much of it. I remember down in, like I say, so I went on to antidepressants. I was on really, really strong ones. They're sort of like making me like very much like a zombie. Like didn't feel anything, didn't feel happy, didn't feel sad. Just going through emotions, which I didn't enjoy. I think as good as the NHS is, they're very much like, let's put you on antidepressants. It's a little bit of a quick fix. And they put me on them, and I said they didn't work, so they upped them up to the point where the doctor was like, I can't do any more.
And the thing is, they don't really, and for all the good, they don't really check. They don't do many checks. Like,
you're not dealing with the issue.
You're masking it. You might as well say to them, you might as well go and score some drugs. Yeah, because that's gonna help you feel better. Like,
I think it's dealing with the root cause, and where I don't think they have the funding nor the resources to help people find the root cause. So the easiest thing for them to do is to stick you on tablets that they can prescribe you. You can go to the pharmacy, get them, and start taking them straight away. Whereas therapy is like a long wait. Yes. So the first counsellor I had, I contacted her, I paid her. Some people don't have the luxury of doing that. So I know the wait times now can be really quite long just to speak to someone.
The referrals are like for my ADHD to get like the first initial appointment, it's been 2 years. I've got it yet. Like that, it's just a crazy amount of time just to get a referral. But I can go private and pay like $5,000 and get it done tomorrow. Yeah. But people haven't got that luxury. And I think, yeah.
Can I ask a question? When you was going through that, did your friends know that you was on antibiotics, antidepressants? Because that's really, obviously, that teenage age for everyone is really difficult.
No, they didn't.
So they didn't
no,
know.
I hid it. So I was still going out drinking, taking antidepressants, which is probably not the right idea.
As a man as well, I feel like that's more common. Sorry,
I think you hide it, and I think so when I tell people about it, they're shocked. Because
you think 15 years ago, if a bloke said I'm struggling with mental health, you go, wrap up.
Wasn't it?
Sort yourself out, man up.
As much as I'm for masculinity, I think to be a masculine male, you need to be open and understand of your own feelings. Doesn't make you any less of a man.
I think it makes you a stronger man if you know how to manage and manage your emotions.
Yeah. So I was on antidepressants. I don't feel like they ever worked for me. To be honest, like I say, they made me feel like a zombie. I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel good. Didn't feel bad. They kind of just got me through the day. There was no long term plan either. It was like, we'll put you on these, and then, what now? You stay on them for the rest of your life. Exactly. Some people do stay on them for a very long time. And if they help people, then great. But for me, they didn't help. It all come to a head. Obviously, I took a massive overdose of sedatives. I took pills out of the cupboard for my stepdad's heart condition, everything anything that I thought was gonna put me in a place where I was gonna sleep and never wake up. And then I did it in the house with my ex, which some people may say, well, that was your safety net. But it was just, we had a massive argument, and I was like, I'm done with this. Went in the other room, took them all. So she called the ambulance, called my parents because they were out. Ambulance came round, took me into HDU, the high dependency unit. And I don't know what they did. I woke up 2 days later. They were very close to sectioning me at the time, which my mum was all for. She was like, yeah, take him. Because if I'm gone and she sees that I'm with professional help, she didn't know what to do, Up until that point, I remember a point where I'd driven out in my car, was sat on top of the M25 bypass at Brentwood, and I said to her, if you don't come and get me now, I'll jump off. And to look now, and I smile, because it's something that I just can't comprehend that was me. It's so crazy to think that that was the place that I was in, but it just shows you that anyone can be at that place.
And what was that turning point from that till?
So once I actually discharged myself from hospital and signed and signed papers signed papers, and my mum said, that's not your signature. But they were like, we've watched him sign it, he's refusing help, done. They'll wipe your hands with you now. And it was literally that. But there was, I don't even remember now, I was quite fortunate, I think. There was an aftercare team that literally come to my house, 2 nurses come to my house every day for 2 weeks and just sat down, how was your day, blah, blah, blah. They did put me back on antidepressants, but they were giving me a week's worth at a time. My mom was taking in front of me, blah, blah.
It must have caused a strain in your relationship at the time.
Yeah, I put her for an awful lot. I put her for an awful lot, which now has brought us closer. I don't feel I owe her something, but I love her more. I love her more, because what she coped with would probably be
but then
hell
she
for anybody.
Herself, she understood, but also that caused her frustrations as well.
And then it's weird because I can't say that in my life there was a massive turning point. Like I said, I just came back. I didn't tell my boss at the time because he was like, mental health doesn't exist for men. So I literally discharged myself on the Sunday to go back to work on the Monday.
From a mental health unit to go to work.
I didn't tell him because I didn't feel I could. I couldn't. I could not. He was a very masculine man, and he was
if you went to your boss, I'm struggling with my mental health, they'd find a way to try and get rid of you.
Yeah, I feel like that's how it is, or how it was. I was 20 in still quite I was still quite young for the industry I was in. And I just didn't feel like I had either the relationship to tell him. He could have surprised me and turned around and said, you know what? I've struggled. Yeah, you don't know, but a lot of people have a front.
But it was that stigma at work, especially the amount of people that hadn't disclosed it on applications.
You're frightened of that label too.
Yeah, I think you're frightened of being judged or looked at differently because
not getting a job.
What if something happens and they're in a high pressure situation, you can't cope? And it's not about that, because I always managed to do my job and do my job well without anyone knowing what I was going through, which was hard, But for me, work has always been somewhere where it helps me focus. Come out of the hospital, the aftercare team were very good. They offered me counselling. I went to that, and that was the third counsellor I had. No, I had one. I didn't really get on with it. Went to another one. Didn't really get on with it. Was still taking the antidepressants, and then I literally woke up one day and was like, I need to do something about it. I don't want this to be my life. And a guy that I used to work with was like double my age, was like, come to the gym with me. And I'm like, okay, I've been in the gym a couple of times, but not really consistently. And he was like, no, come to the gym with me. I'm a member of like David Lloyd's. Come with me. I'm like, okay. And everyone at work thought it was odd because he's like a 40-year-old man taking a 20-year-old like lad to the gym. And we just started training. Didn't really know what we were doing. Just jumping on the machines and that. And I just felt that the more consistently I did it, the better I felt within myself.
I think we're all sitting here advocates for the gym, health, and our mental health.
Yeah, and I think that was, for me, the biggest form of therapy that I had, was realising that I felt great after doing it. I could see the physical changes.
Have you continued going to the gym?
No, I was born this way.
I've seen pictures contrary to that.
But, some people say, is it an unhealthy obsession? I don't think it is.
But even if it is, it's not unhealthy. And
I think the thing to take from it is find something that you enjoy doing.
What qualifies as unhealthy obsession? Really? Why is it unhealthy? You go regularly, it makes you feel better.
I've had friends say, the gym for you is an addiction. I go, yeah, it used to be cocaine. Which one would you rather? I'd much rather go lift heavy stuff up and put it back down again than have arguments and lose family and do cocaine in my car. But
it so outweighs what you get physically. So each and every one of us have gone into a session, and either it just allows you to switch off, or you've got any emotion, it goes into that session, it goes far beyond, and you've just fallen in love with that. And then obviously everything else is a byproduct anyway, which makes you feel even better.
Yeah, it is. And obviously you do feel, obviously there's studies of the chemicals and that are released when you train. But it does make you feel really good. And I just found that, it was something I could do consistently. And even now, like after how long I've been in the gym, I get days and I'm like, I get a little bit anxious about going. As soon as I'm there, I'm okay. Yeah. Sometimes just doing that journey is like the biggest, you build it up in your head.
So normal.
Yeah.
Well, I have that. That little journey, I'm there well early before opening. On a weekday, I'm there at 5:30, even though they don't open until 6.
It is pretty annoying, yeah.
Yeah. But there's me and another guy, me and Tony literally sit there like that. We're just.
I feel like you're having a stalemate when I get woken up in the morning. I'm like, come on, guys.
But I like it because you'll get to the gym and I'm I can do my little bit and wake up and be there, because some people, they do just roll out of bed and roll straight to the gym and they look like zombies. But I think. Yeah, we all want to go to the gym. We all have days that are just a bit crap.
Yeah, of course.
But we all go to the same gym, and it's the people there. Even if you don't really work out, but the people
all from different backgrounds as well. It's really nice, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think I don't want people to think that are listening to this or watching this that it needs to be the gym.
No,
it doesn't.
No.
Whatever you find is obviously
for us
a good thing.
For us, it's the gym.
I don't know when I was fine. We was talking about music, and for me, it's dancing. For you, it used to be takeaways.
It's just you're finding something that you enjoy and that you get a good feeling out of, be it any sport or any sort of art, or even going for a walk or just anything.
Or a
nice bath, yeah.
And it doesn't have to be on your own either. It doesn't have to be.
No.
Even though we like that. Says a lot. Yeah.
But I think for us especially, that element of it becomes a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I think when you have a lifestyle, you get you're regimented in doing stuff, and it does keep your mind on track.
It gives us a purpose, and as humans, we really like a purpose. We like, if you're a dad, if you're at work, if you're going to the gym, it gives you a drive and a purpose. And without that you're kind of lost. I feel like a lot of people get lost.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a completely different person.
Yeah,
I think you were lost.
Yeah, I probably was lost. I didn't really know.
I didn't know your purpose.
I think the gym, like you say, the gym.
Look how he's looking into his eyes. There's so much love in that.
That's good fun,
I just feel like
there's so much awe there. I can't.
I feel like the gym is saved you.
Yeah, it has. To be honest with you, I don't. Like I said, I don't want people to think that the gym is the answer for everybody. But yeah, it did save me. It was my answer, you know. And okay, yeah, I might have a couple of days if I didn't go and I was on holiday that I'll miss it. I don't think I'd ever slide back to where I was because I think the gym has like built my mental resilience as much as my physical resilience, you know. But yeah, it's something that I do like doing every day, apart from like a couple of rest days a week, which is important, obviously. But yeah, you have every day for like 2 years as you see your transformation. But yeah, I don't see what's wrong with it, you know. Like, if you want to get obsessed with the gym, get obsessed with the gym.
And then, you got into the gym and then roll on to like, you know, what's happened since you joined the gym, obviously.
Yeah, so
he's been very humble.
Yeah, you know, mate. Yeah.
No, I mean, obviously, there's byproduct of going to the gym and eating loads of food every day. You do put on a little bit of muscle, and I might have put on a little bit of muscle.
Only a little bit.
Billy's competed, but it's not the first time. So obviously competed, but you didn't step on the stage the first time you prepped. Do you want to talk about that?
No, no, I'm open to everyone. You've got to go through failure in life, right? So yeah, I tried to.
You learn more from your failures.
I tried to prep twice for shows, and yeah, I don't think I had it in me. I don't know why. I just really struggled dieting.
The dieting it's not the workout.
No, it was it was the lack of food. And I love my food.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, and then yeah.
We're all nodding.
I mean, my first prep, like, I just had enough one day. I went to McDonald's and ordered everything, ate in my car, and then threw up outside and was like, what am I doing with my life? So that's not a healthy obsession.
It does push. Yeah, again, bodybuilding is very extreme.
Yeah.
And we love the lifestyle, and you're not always on prep. But again, at that point, it was like that trigger. You was like, no.
Yeah. And then the third time around, I made it.
It was easy.
Strolled through.
I wouldn't say it was easy, but I don't know. Like, I feel like as you grow as a person, you do get stronger. You know, like
you build your tools for sure.
Yeah, and you know that that short-lived enjoyment of that food is short-lived. You know, it's going to take a knock on.
It's too long.
Please, it's going to take a knock on.
I think as well, you do learn more from your failures than you do from your successes.
Makes the successes even
more sweeter, doesn't it?
Yeah, sweeter than Matt's tea without no sugar in it.
Yeah. Bless him. So, to the present day, how are you feeling now?
Yeah, I feel good. I mean, I feel like in terms of my mental health is good. I think, like as I said before, even the most upbeat, happy, positive, successful people even have a moment in their day, week, month, year where they don't feel as happy. They might not feel sad. To me, that's mental health. You know, it doesn't need to be one extreme to another. I know some people do suffer with like those the highs and lows, but I think that's just life in general.
And what are your kind of coping mechanisms now?
Just to recognise.
Have you got people to listen to? Like
he buys random comics.
No, that was on prep. I started comic collecting, which was really weird. I mean, I think just like learning like your triggers and just accepting the way you feel. Just turn around and go, you know what, I don't feel great today. I accept that. I've had that conversation with myself. Let's not dwell on it. Tomorrow's a new day. I have little habits, you know, that I've picked up. Like I make my bed every day.
Yeah.
At least you say if you've had a bad day, at least you've achieved something. You've completed something. Getting a workout done. It can be something really small. It doesn't have to be these giant leaps of success and like achievements. You know, I think the little steps, like a ladder, all add up. Before you know it, you're at the top. But if you look up and you think it's a long way, if you don't take them steps, you'll never get there.
Yeah.
But just doing the little things like get my meal prep done, get my sessions done.
Journey,
all adds up.
I always say, journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. That would chestnut.
Batteries.
I'm going to get that put on a plaque with your name underneath it.
No, I listen to music quite a lot. My music's quite important. I really connect with music. So whatever mood I'm in, I'll always listen to.
Most people in the gym do with your playlist.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I love all types of music. You know, I've started listening to like audiobooks, which is good. Just people that interest me or people that have been through like life's journeys. I mean, even 50 Cent, people might even say like is some crude rapper, but his book is really, really good. Yeah, he's a really good listener. Yeah. And he's obviously got 50 Cent and he's got Curtis Jackson, who he is, you know.
Yeah.
I'd say one thing that all of us do is surround ourselves with quite positive people. Like I don't think that we're around negative energy.
No, I think when you start getting better and your mind is working as it should, well, not as it should do, but you're in a better frame of mind, you do start realising actually, I don't need
healthier choices.
Yeah, I don't need that person in my life because they do this. Like there was a guy, and I shared a thing about like mates bantering each other, and then it goes from bantering to actually like
insulting. Yeah,
but then they use that. Well, it's only banter.
Yeah, it's not.
But you get to a point, you're like, but then you start believing it, and then you're like, do I really need this person in my life? And I think when you start cutting people out of your life or leaving people behind and bringing new company in that
quality
actually
add value to you,
boost you as a person, but actually just your surroundings, I think.
And
it's worth its weight in gold.
You're like open to learning. Again, all of us, you have to be open to learn to improve your health. You're listening to audiobooks. You want to learn. You want to better yourself. If you're just surrounding yourself with that negative energy, you're not gonna.
But that's the thing. Like, especially doing something like this. Like, we have people on. They talk about it a lot, but it's constant learning. You learn stuff every time about each other. Even if you've known each other for years, you still learn.
Well, this is going to be really controversial. So,
but you're going to do it anyway.
Run more, please.
This is what the pod's all about. No, because I feel like when you are suffering with mental health, you become in a very self-absorbed, self-consumed space. So even something like this, you're sharing stories and you're learning more about people, and you know, it's not like, woe me because I'm going through this. I know it's a really negative thing to say, but when you're so self-consumed, you just, all you can feel is everything going against you. Like, and you kind of create barriers for yourself and boundaries for yourself. Whereas when you open yourself up to learning, to improving your life in whatever aspects it is, you're going to invite that positive energy. You're just going to help progress.
You do become like.
Sounds really awful to say. I'm not saying
my
negative mental health is selfish, but then you're like, you were thinking about your son, like you were in your own bubble. The same as you were thinking about your mum. Like we've all done it. Where you,
my auntie told me that at my worst, I was a positivity vacuum.
Yeah,
I just sucked the life out of everything because it was. Well, you're going out today. What about me? Like, you should be here worrying about me, not going out and having fun. And I think that is a part.
So I'm not disregarding. No, that sounds awful. But just saying, it becomes so.
Yeah, and I think when you start wanting to get better and start to feel better, you do like audio books and reading and stuff like that. You do learn, and then
you're better for the people around you.
Yeah, because you're open to be taught.
You're a better dad. Yeah. You're a better. Like, I feel like you've become a better person for the people that matter.
Not a better dad, no.
I just went like that.
Not me. I haven't got kids.
That's why I said you're both dads. So,
I think it's a cliche thing, isn't it? It's like you're never too old to like change your mindset, change a habit, cut people off, and it's not feeling guilty about doing that as well. If someone doesn't bring value to your life, then you've got to question yourself, why have you got that relationship, you know?
Or if it's not balanced, if it's not, if you're not,
if you don't feel it's reciprocated, if you're always boosting that person, you need to be. My circle's got so small, and I'm happy with that because I know it's like they say, be around the people that you'd ring at 3 a.m, not 6 p.m. Because the one at 6 p.m. is going to pick up, but the one that's going to pick up at 3 a.m. is going to be the one that picks up.
That's going to be you. Mine goes on.
If I rang you at 3 a.m, I know you'd pick up. So, and that's the kind of people you want to be around. Or be like guy, I think he's in one of the films. Is like, don't ask any questions. I've got to go knock on these guys' houses. Are you with me? And they're like, yep, I'm in. No?
But that's the thing. Like, you have all those shows. Like, I've got friends that go, like, we've got alibis that we like goes. If you need an alibi,
you shouldn't be saying this. No. Because we're going to know your alibi now. If you're not making it.
Yeah, Bill. No, but you know, like, you've got those friends that, you know, you see all those pranks where like a girlfriend phones up her boyfriend's fella and goes, "Oh, have you seen him? Yeah, he was round, but he's just left."
And he's still sat there having a beer.
Yeah. And stuff like that. Like, you know, they're the type of people.
You're like
exactly. And I think you only need a few of those. Like, I remember. Like,
I think you can only manage a few of those. Like.
I think if they're the quality and they're like wholesome and they're important relationships.
That's the thing. When you're like in your early teens.
Yeah, I mean, I surrounded myself with so many people.
You've got 100 mates. You're like, I've got loads
so
of
popular,
mates.
but they're not there for.
They're there for good times.
Yeah, they're not there for real, you know.
No.
And this is vice versa. You might not be there for them for real.
No, I don't think I'm a very good friend if I had 100 friends. Just saying.
No, too much to go around, isn't it? You might spread yourself out.
Yeah, too many texts.
You ain't got that much to go around anymore.
I think it's all about quality, you know, like quality of the company you keep, quality of the information that you absorb, you know. It's just
isn't that the case? Quality of food, quality of culture. You could actually say
quality street.
Yeah.
So just quickly back to you again, Bill. Just going
forward. Can we go back to
anyone else? Going forward, what's your plans for like now and futures? In like, are you going to compete again and that sort of stuff?
Take over the world, really.
I think it's just to grow as a person, like a sponge. I want to get swole, but I mean, grow as a person, learn new things, grow mentally, read more, soak up more like a sponge. Yeah, gym wise, I want to get bigger, obviously. I am going to compete again next year.
Arnold's next year, yeah.
But then, we don't know. Obviously, I feel like there's improvements to be made. You know, with bodybuilding, it's very subjective. We are probably our biggest critics. So sit there and we go, this needs improving, that needs improvement. But for me, I enjoy it. Bodybuilding and competing is a byproduct of me going to the gym every day. I went to the gym every day to feel better about the way I looked. I was always a skinny guy. Didn't like being the skinny guy. I didn't want to be the skinny guy. Still feel like I'm the skinny guy.
Me and Matt skinny guy. I now go, not skinny tonight.
But it never leaves you.
No, and I think yet again, fit people are shunned for being fit because it's arrogance, but it's not. If you take care of your physical appearance, then you're respecting yourself, you know. And it's the biggest compliment you can pay for yourself is to look after your physical and mental health, you know. And that's what I say, like the stuff that you soak up, like online, the stuff that you do every day. You know, don't get me wrong, I like to sit in front of the TV and eat some cookies and watch a bit of Big Bang Theory or something like that because I'm a bit of a geek. And that's not a bad thing, but 99% of my day is structured, you know, it's doing what. And also even structuring that time, right? I've done everything. 8 o'clock, I'm going to sit down and watch a bit of TV or read a book and then go to bed. But it's just what you absorb. There's so much out there, good and bad, to be around. I've been around bad people. I've been around people that do bad things, and it just rubs off on you and sends you downhill. So for me, I'm like my circle. I'm happy with my circle. Yeah, I've got a good circle of people around me that, they just inspire me, you know. And they might not see that, but they do inspire me. I think inspiration can come from anywhere. It can be small things. It can be superheroes, but you can get it from anywhere. So I want to grow as a person, learn more, look at going into business, learn business, bodybuild, compete again, do everything. I want it all.
Take over the world, really.
You said about your circle and stuff. It's definitely true. I mean, Des Washington says, you know, like you hang around the barber shop long enough, you're going to get a haircut. That's sort of like, you know what I mean? It's one of them things. So you
grow with your environment, don't you?
Yeah, definitely.
It's a bit like a fish tank. Like a fish will grow to its environment, and the better the environment, the bigger
the more you're going to grow.
Yeah. But on kind of ending, what would be your kind of passing advice to the world?
I think it's to
mental health,
like to build a good relationship with yourself. I mean, we obviously taught from a very young age how important it is to have relationships with other people for like social development. And I'm not saying that isn't important, but I think you can't always be with people. You need to be happy on your own. And if you're not happy on your own, then you need to work on that. You need to build a good relationship with yourself, learn what you like, what you don't like, what makes you happy, what doesn't make you happy, your coping mechanisms, your triggers. Just be really like self-aware. I think is really important, you know. Spend time on your own. Get comfortable with spending time on your own. And then you're going to be a better person for the people around you. Yeah. You're going to be a better person for yourself.
It's really, I know you're just finishing up, but I feel like it's really hard. We're all at a certain age. And I feel like...
Am I the youngest?
Yeah.
But I feel like you have to go through that because I feel like when you speak to young people,
you're trying to be his mum now.
No.
We'll learn one day.
I'm the happiest I've ever been. You're the happiest, like we're all the happiest we've ever been, and it's really hard. I wish I could tell our younger self to do that.
But like I say, I wish I could go back and say to myself, like, look, you're going through what seems like hell now, but just persevere with it, and it will get better.
It shall pass.
Like, and I mean, there might be times in my life that. Like you can't say it won't go back to that, you know. But what you've been through, you can think like, I can't believe I sat on that bridge, you know. Like it makes my stomach drop thinking about it. And
it's what you learn from it. It's like learning from your failures.
If I go back to myself and put my arm around and say it's going to be better, at the time you don't think that. But I feel like the best I've ever been. I still would have come on this podcast if I wasn't. I think you got to be honest, you know. I've had some challenging times in my life recently. Big decisions that have had to be made that are not easy.
But you made it. You've done it.
In
your own mental health, and you're still in a position where you go, I'm good.
I think if you're comfortable with yourself, as I said, and you're like, you know yourself. I won't say happy in yourself. You know yourself. You can get through it.
If you're making a decision and you think it's right,
you got to stand by it.
You have to stick to your guns. You have to die on that hill.
Yeah.
Whether
I mean, life's made up of every little decision, isn't it? Like, for a decision for me to be here today, if I'd never stepped foot in the gym, I wouldn't have been here today. If we'd never spoke when you first come in the gym.
Who knows where you would have
been. If you never annoyed me when you come in the gym. If you'd never grunted to scream the gym down. And so people walk past on the street that I've just spoken to. I don't think it doesn't have to be in the gym. I know centre it around the gym.
That's where he lives.
It's where I live.
I just think, like, obviously since I've known you, you've always been the same. It's like, it's your way, like, you do it your own way. Like, you've always done it your way. It's sort of
your way.
You know I mean? It's your way. You don't do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, because we've had some conversations.
What you're trying to say is he's stubborn.
I think. What was it? What was it? He said to me, I can remember that.
Yeah, it's like
a bit upsetting, but he was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "No."
That was when I think that's when I said. I can't remember what it was, but I remember now. Yeah.
I felt bad. I did feel bad.
But that's not to say you're narrow-minded. It just means that you're,
you stick to your guns.
Yeah. And like, we all have to do things to please other people.
Sometimes
you can't do that your whole life, you know. Like,
because sometimes being a people pleaser isn't pleasing you.
You have to compromise your happiness.
Yeah.
At least you know where you stand, though.
Yeah.
He's still here, though. He's still sat here, isn't he?
He's not bitter about it.
But I remember, I can't remember the specific scenario, but I remember it well because I think it even happened at the gym. But he was like, I know what it. I think I know what it was. He was like, we was going out for food, and he was like, "We'll pick you up." And I'm like, "No, I'll drive."
Right, sorry.
I ended up picking him up.
Yeah.
But no, maybe that's a downfall, but you know,
yeah.
on that bombshell.
Matt's never got over it, clearly.
But your counselling session will be next week, eh?
Yeah, cheers for coming on.
No, cheers, it's good. It's something that's important to talk about, and what you guys are doing are brilliant, you know. And I might go away and think, I wish I said this, I wish I said that.
I'll just get episode 2. It'll be
right. There are any departing words as well. I think that's about like self-reflection.
Just get to know yourself, because you're with yourself all the time. You can't escape that. So I had a really bad relationship with myself, and it's taken a lot to build and be open with yourself, you know. Like, if you're even looking at, like, if you was to look in the mirror, I never did it, but you know, you got to look. You got to
look inwards, don't look in the mirror. Yeah. So Billy's also a coach, which he hasn't actually said. So he's open to helping other people.
Yeah.
He's not addressed that. He's very humble.
Yeah.
So and what was I going to say?
I don't know.
We normally end it.
Yeah. If you got any questions or anything you want to send in, send in to hello@mentalhealth.social.
I'm not open to questions. Let's take them on. Depends what they are, though.
Or you can follow Billy on Billy Scott. That's his Instagram. It's very nice and simple.
Yeah, Billy C. Scott. Yeah. Well, I don't want followers,
but follow me. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Cheers. Yeah, thank you very much.
See you next time.